great supporters of young conservatives here in California. I'm proud to announce first ever supporter of Young Conservatives Award to Ron Nehring.
Well, Jason, I want to thank you for this, and Jason deserves a tremendous amount of credit because he had to get me here without telling me why, and he pulled it off with an enormous amount of skill. But as I was sitting here listening, it reminded me of this story that I wanted to leave you with today, and that is the story of Barry Goldwater in 1964. And Ronald Reagan in 1980. Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan were ideologically identical, virtually identical. Barry Goldwater ran for president in 1964, and he lost 44 states. Ronald Reagan, 16 years later, identical candidate, philosophically, ran for president and won in 44 states in 1980. What was the difference between those two candidates? Well, what's not commonly known is that although Barry Goldwater didn't win in 1964, his unabashed conservatism drew hundreds of thousands of conservatives to not sit on the sidelines but to become active in politics. And what those conservatives who came out of the Goldwater campaign, what they did is they formed the modern conservative movement in America. They joined the NRA, they formed Gun Owners of America, they formed Eagle Forum, they formed many, many conservative organizations and think tanks, ALEC, the Heritage Foundation, et cetera, et cetera. So by the time Ronald Reagan ran for president in 1980, hundreds of thousands of conservatives had learned how to organize and to communicate, and they built the modern conservative movement. With the Millennial Review, we see the exact same thing happening again. And although the Cruz campaign is over, one of the benefits is that it has brought all of us together, and the Millennial Review is the mechanism by which we can continue to increase the number and effectiveness of the people in the conservative movement. And so the power of the Millennial Review is this, and the reason why when they ask us for a contribution and they ask us to come to an event, or when the Millennial Review asks us to support them, why we must do that is that the Millennial Review's power is that it will help to increase the number and effectiveness of young conservative activists in California. That is the power of this new publication. And that is why it is worthy of the support of those people who are not millennials, right? So those of us who are a little bit older, who have some of the resources to support these young people in their undertaking, we have to support them. We have to support them. And the benefit is that the future leaders of the Republican Party in California, the future leaders of the conservative movement, some of them are going to come out of this organization. And they're going to look back at us for having supported them in their efforts. They will learn how to write well. They will learn how to market their ideas. They will learn how to communicate with people with whom we need to communicate to build a majority in the future. That is the power of this organization, because you know what? Having the best ideas is not enough to win in politics. Having the best ideas is not enough to win. So the question, if it was, our candidates would file, their candidates would file, the socialists would lose and our candidates would win, and it would all be over. But the fact that you need campaigns is proof that being the right in the sense of having the best idea is not enough to win. So what does determine the victor of an election? Well, over time, the winner of a political contest, over time, is determined by the number and the effectiveness of the activists and leaders on each side. The winner of a political contest over time is determined by the number and the effectiveness of the activists and leaders on each side. And by supporting the Millennial Review, we will help to increase the number and effectiveness of the conservative leaders and activists on our side. And so I appreciate the award. I very much appreciate the recognition today. But the true recognition belongs with these young people who are doing something that they don't have to do, to ensure that the flame that was handed to us and is now entrusted to us, and that we will hand to them, continues to shine bright for freedom and opportunity in America. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today.